Thanks for staying with us. So during the paper review, we took a very sad story about a building collapse that happened in Asaba, Delta State. And it's important for us to follow up on that story because we're told that some may have died. And we'd like to confirm we have our correspondent, AMECH IKENNA, who is in Asaba right now, TVC news correspondent Asaba, to tell us what's going on there and if there's any updates on the amount of casualties that we have. Good morning, AMECH. Are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Coach, could you give us an update? So the paper said this morning there are about 10 victims or casualties that we have. Could you confirm that? And so far, what's the rescue response like in Asaba?
All right. Yesterday, when the building collapsed around 5 p.m., we had the different government officials and, of course, Red Cross and police coming here to ensure that the place is cordoned off. And at the end, people were reporting that there were 10 people that died during the building collapse. But what we got was yesterday when the secretary to the state government came and observed everything, and later he gave updates that no one died as of yesterday, that 18 people were rescued and were receiving treatment at various hospitals here in Asaba. But sadly, this morning, we got the news from the police command here that 3 people actually died, 2 children, female children, and a lady. Their identity is yet unknown for now, but we can confirm that 3 people are dead as of now. 11 are receiving treatment, while 4 have been since discharged from the hospital. And we can confirm that some people are still here trying to. The church actually came. Some of the church members came here to pack some of their instruments from the building, which collapsed yesterday. And unfortunately, the building, a lot of questions have to be answered about what happened and how it happened. But it's something that the government has to really go into and probe and see who is at fault here that caused the death of these 3 people. Because as we can see, this building, if you can see some part of the building, is actually being renovated as at the time the incident happened yesterday. It was actually being renovated. And for a building that is under renovation and people are, inside the building, it has a lot of questions to be answered. And why will it be renovated? Why people are inside? And why the person decided to renovate it? Because the church is actually not a confirmed story information. The church is saying that it was a rented building for the church, Salvation Ministries here in Opanam. And they're supposed to have, the owner of the building actually sold the building to another person. So it's a new owner. And that new owner is the one trying to renovate the building. While the church...
All right, AMECH, we're having... Are you still there, AMECH? We still need to have ask you a few questions. Yes. AMECH, could you confirm if you can hear me?
Because we heard that they were asked to evacuate. And I think that's what he's saying.
AMECH, all right, so let me get a few more questions in for you.
So my concern is that while you're talking live at the scene of this collapse, I can see activities behind you. Who is in charge of rescue on this building, on this site right now? Is it the government or the people are helping themselves?
Like I said yesterday, the government and every government agent that are supposed to be responsible came here and they rescued a lot of people, about 18 people. And the rescue mission actually ended that last night. And they find out that nobody is actually trapped under the rubble here. And so
allowing people,
as you can see,
access this place right now.
No, they are not allowing. Those people that you see there, they are people that either they are the church member, because there are police actually here cordoning up the area. People you see here are either journalists or people that are responsible to, remove some things that might actually want to fall, because this particular part of the building you can see behind me here is actually about to fall. If any small force is applied to it, it will actually cave in as well. So they are some people here are actually working on the building, ensuring that they remove some parts, and that's what is happening right now. That's why you can see some activities going on behind me. But the government officials, the Red Cross, everybody was here yesterday to ensure that rescue mission was done, and it was done successfully.
Amechi, please help us. I think what Nima is trying to say, we understand rescue mission ended yesterday, but having citizens having access to something that is can still possibly come down is also risky, don't you think?
And carrying funds.
I said people that are allowed in here are actually people authorized to be here. Me as a journalist, I'm authorized to be here. And then other people that are working on the sites to ensure they remove some other parts are actually authorized. And then earlier on, the church, some of the church members assessed the building, and we're trying to remove some of their property that are actually rescued from the collapse.
Let me get one more question for you.
Other people there.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got reports that this building was, like you mentioned, sold, and that the church has been asked to evacuate. Was the church asked to evacuate because the building obviously is under construction?
I wouldn't really confirm that yet, that the building, the church did not want to evacuate the building, because it's under a new ownership, and since it's under a new ownership, and the church feel that their rent haven't been expired under the old ownership, they still have the rights to be in the building. But I wouldn't get the detail of whether they actually were forcing them out of the building, or they were still saying that it's possible for them to even stay in the building while the building is being renovated. It's still not confirmed yet, but the fact is, it's under a new ownership, and the new owner is renovating the church, which is, to me, it's not supposed to be done while people are still living. Those who are actually living in the ground floor have actually vacated the building. It's only the church, which is in the first floor, that remains in the building. So while the building collapsed, there was nobody trapped underneath, because of people that were there before. They have already relocated to another place before now.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you this question, please, based on your conversation yesterday when the rescue mission was taking place, and you said, I think the deputy governor was there. Who is going to be taking responsibility for this collapse now? There are many things that shouldn't happen that happened. The church shouldn't have been in a construction site. The construction site should have ensured that the church evacuated. Is it the new landlord that will take responsibility? Or the church?
If you can repeat what you said, I didn't get that very well. Please, can you repeat, please?
In a nutshell, who will take responsibility? The new owners, the church, who will be prosecuted?
That is where the government have to come in, because, like we told the secretary to the state government when the question was put to him yesterday, he actually said investigation from today we commence on what actually happened. And today I confirm to you that earlier the commissioner for environment was here to see things for himself, and of course in about 11 a.m. today, the deputy governor will be arriving here to see things for himself, and also other government officials like those in charge of buildings definitely will be here to know, and they will take action and investigate on who is actually culpable of this particular damage that have cost the life of 3 people, and of course injuring others. So for now, it's still not clear who will take responsibility. But for what I'm seeing, I know that the new owner of the building will definitely have a lot of questions to answer.
Okay, let me get one.
I also want to find out about for those who are injured and rescued and have been taken to the hospital. Is there any confirmation that they are getting the care that they need to recover, and that maybe payments will that be made by the government, or is the church stepping in for those victims?
Well, I can't confirm whether government is actually taking responsibility for the payment of their medical bills, but they have been taken some of them to government hospitals and others to a private hospital here. So for the church, definitely, I don't know if they will take responsibility of the medical bill. Who will take the medical bill?
All right, thank you, Amechi. Thank you very much for joining us this morning to give us an update on this building collapse. We've been speaking with our TVC News correspondent in Asaba, Delta State, Mr. Amechi IKENNA. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about what happened and hear your thoughts on it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, I mean, in Lagos, we're kind of almost used to building collapsing here and there because we hear about it a lot. When it happens in a situation where it's clear that a building was under renovation, usually when buildings are under renovation, some people evacuate, I mean, and others find a place to stay. I mean, well, if it's not the full building that's been renovated, it's just a portion of it. Some people still stay and maintain use of that building. But in this case, it seems like the new owner wanted to do a total renovation. But in your view, what do you think could have done? How do we prevent something like this? Because the guys on the ground floor obviously evacuated. So they knew something was going to happen. I mean, they knew that renovation is ongoing. But the church was adamant. They kept children in there. Now, my question, therefore, is who takes responsibility? Is it the church? Is it the parish pastor? Is it the new owner for not ensuring that they complete evacuation before it continues? Or, as usual, as we like to say, the government?
So this matter is something that I'm very familiar with. When an old owner
sells... a big church, to add.
...is building out, so a new owner. The new owner must know that by law you inherit the tenants. They must use their time. And if you must evacuate or evict them, you give them the legal notices, and then you also give them the period of time that they become statutory tenants to finish, and then you go to court to evict them. The court has to order their eviction. That's the process. There's no other process to it. But in Nigeria, when you have a new owner buy a building, they will come to you and say, I've changed, your owner have changed. Your landlord will not go. They'll just write you a letter. Everybody should leave. I want to renovate. And so you now have tenants running up and down. I have people on as fans of the show that send me messages every time. Our landlord say. Yes, and when you're giving them the law, they'll be saying, no, I want to go human rights and all of that. I said, okay, go and do whatever other measures that you think. When the new owner comes like that, you must wait, you must buy with that knowledge that time must use itself. Time must be spent on that. That 6-month notice you give them, you go to court, wait out the court process for their eviction order. When you have that order, you come with a court bailiff and police officers to enforce that order. Then you are free of any liability. In this case now, there's a problem. There's also negligence on the part of the church members, insisting on staying on a building under construction and putting their people in harm's way. Now, this is whether those people are willing to sue them. Whatever kind of consequence falls on the building owner, he can push also to the part of the church owners because other people left the building.
Yeah. So there is this gentleman's agreement that, okay, we're renovating, you guys don't have a place to go yet. You can continue to use this space until you find a new place because you can't just evacuate a church. They need to find a new place to worship. So in that kind of situation, there's that gentleman's agreement of, while we are renovating this side, you guys can use that side. Now, is that still, can he be?
I still feel, so I have I have issues with churches that are on the first floor of a building. The reason I have issues with that is because the heavy weight of the jumping around, moving, matching was never put into consideration when the buildings usually get built. Probably the level of activity that moving around in church would generate could never be factored into when they were building that house. That's the one. So, and I see many churches that are on one church is on the first floor, take another church on this. And I'm wondering, when they built this house, it was built for office complex, not for you to have churches, drums, the vibration, walking around. It does not. That's not what they expect. The clapping, yes. So all that drama was not expected. There should be a scientific review from the government on all those kind of places so that we prevent it before it happens.
Let me take this call. That comes to Mariam. Abimbola, are you there from Bagada? Hello. Oh, we lost that call.
Please, just quick addition. if there is any letter from the new owners asking the church to go, it's the church that will take responsibility.
So they become liable.
Yes, because that letter shows that we have told you to leave.
Like that. Because the church still has to, if the church have a subsisting rent, they have to use it. If they don't have, did you wait?
So this is a court because
yes, because we've heard of situations where a landlord has given notice and the occupants have refused to leave. So you see a landlord come and take off the roof of the house, hoping that the rain will send you out packing. I'm just wondering if that was the situation where the church is saying we're going nowhere, and say, well, then we'll do the construction around you. But my question now remains for the parents of the children that thought it was wise to put their children in a building that was under construction.
We don't think
what do you think?
Maria, we don't think this thing now.
No, we do.
We don't think it through. We are carrying.
I think it through. And you know what I'm worried about is this church influence. This is the second one where it comes up, you know, like maybe Christianity or Christians don't really think about the science and the physics of things, and they're, you know, hoping on God to step in. I mean, it is so wrong that a church would allow children to be put in such a precarious situation.
This is such an important point you've made, and I'd like us to dwell on it. But let me take Victor. Victor, are you there? Hello, Victor, are you there? I think we're having issues with our phone lines today. So Maria raised this spiritualizing everything. So if I were a member of that church, and I said that they're renovating, and I believe it's a church now. God will protect us. We came here to worship. God will definitely protect us. Yes. So where do we therefore draw the line between science, the physics of these kind of things? Where as a parent, now, not just, now we're talking because we've seen an accident happen. But as a parent, should you begin to start considering, okay, this building is not right, so can we worship there? Because you don't think about that as a parent. You expect that the church would automatically have done all the safety measures so that you can worship it with peace of mind. So the parent is not thinking that. He's thinking it's safe.
Please begin to think that. Begin to think like a parent first. A parent, the first thing you do is to protect your children. The other one that happened in Ikoyi, we saw all the information that said it had been reported to the owner of the building that, you know, there were some discrepancies. And then we saw videos of him doing like a church service or something to just show the power of God. I just don't like that some Christians are making God seem like, you know, like God does not know what he's doing. So please, when it comes to things like this, when it comes to science, we should have a government official or government body that enforces people to evacuate when the construction is going on. The problem I also know government may have, because sometimes when you step in, when church is involved, it's seen as if this is a spiritual attack. The devil has come to attack us. So we need, you know, I get where government is. A lot of times when we talk about church and policies and the laws and enforcement, there's always a clash. So Nigerians, parents, please, let's think differently.
Let me take this call. Victor, again, are you still there?
Are you sure our phone's on?
Hi, Victor, from Italy. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Victor. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. I'm your first-time caller. I'll be trying for the
welcome to the show.
Yeah, about the building, the collapse of building in Nigeria. The building about the collapse of building in Nigeria. You see, sometimes we don't always take the specification of whatever we are laying on, whatever foundation we are laying.
This is not working.
Okay, so his Italy is a bit delayed. But,
so raised the issue of the building and then the conversion of use of the building. So a person might just, you know, do their building, maybe had the intention to just rent it and make money from it. And you have a different purpose. There should be a specific kind of building that you'll be searching for when you want to do a church. What I see more in my own area is that shops are converted to churches.
No
And,
ventilation.
No ventilation. They're built with, just the shops, and you see them just collapse the walls, and somebody just starts one something ministry, and miracles start to happen.
Yeah.
Whoever, I don't know, because I don't want to just, say the wrong terms now, but someone should be able to insist that this is what this building was meant for, and that's the only
I think there's a ministry in Lagos that does
carry,
that actually handles that.
If I'm thinking of my head now, because we do only residentials, this is what that building is meant for, and that's the only activity that can happen there. The same thing with the industrial estates. When, people spring up industrial estates, and then you have some residential estates springing up around saying that it's habitable. My daughter was asking me recently that, Mom, this area that you're talking about, because you're always talking about pollution, are we going to be, the environment there, is it going to be clean air? And I was confused because I'd never thought about it in that particular area that we're proposing that, would there be clean air? But there'll be industries around there. So somebody should be enforcing that, the environmental policies that align with buildings. Also that occupational policies that buildings must be meant for. A building can be built for offices that is going to carry a number of hours during the day.
But it brings up the question, someone like my own church, now we have a mission to make sure that there is a church in every 5 minutes. So to achieve that, it is only offices that are there. It is the office I'll use. I don't have to do...
No, most of your people, at least the one opposite...
Let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
They start in...
Hello, Hassan, are you there? Hello, Hassan, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Can you increase the volume a bit? Yes.
Please, let me remind you of something that happened recently. The Ikoyi collapse. And I saw the drama by different professionals coming to TVC to defend themselves.
Yes.
I'm into structural aspect of building. You see, all these things they're talking about is a way of lowering their image. It's a way of exonerating themselves. The real issue that is causing the building collapse is the greed on the part of the engineer, of the designer, of whosoever is concerned about that building. People are not sincere. People should rise up and be on the side to supervise, to see the quality of what is being put into the building. People don't do that. They have money, they give money to engineers, and the engineers will do whatsoever. And if the building collapses, the engineers will give them one reason or the other. All these people, engineer will take money from you. Structural person will take money from you. Then he will now leave the job with the draftsmen. You understand? Draftsmen are on the ground supervising. He is in the office taking the money. When there is a problem, they will come on TVC. You will see them, the town planner, the architect, structural engineers, they will come up with defending themselves. How can you rationalize that kind of storyboarding in Ikoyi that is handled?
All right, thank you very much, Hassan. So I think much has been said concerning building collapse, and I think we've raised the various important issues, having churches on various levels because of the original design of the house is not compatible with what is being used for. And that's a major issue on its own. And in this case that we're talking about in Asaba, we're still going to continue to watch what happens, who takes responsibility, especially because from what Nima said, their rent is probably not due. And the new owner probably also notified them of renovation. So who takes responsibility? That's something we need to check up and follow up on.
2 children are dead.
And 2 children are dead. What happens? Do we close down the church completely? And this is really, I mean, our hearts go out to the families of these 2 children and the woman.
The woman
that died. May their soul rest in peace. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.